The RPA Today Show, hosted by Howze and Wilton Rogers. The show that brings you the latest insights on RPA, robotic process automation, and how it's impacting every industry, as well as interviews with companies that are currently winning big with this technology. You'll also hear from other industry leaders and experts who will be sharing some of their success secrets to help you become more productive and to grow your business. This show is brought to you by Simply Automate, where we help you get more done in less time and more ease for your mind with strategic business automation. Learn more at www.simplyautomateinc.com, and please follow us on LinkedIn. If anything in this show resonates with you, please let us know by leaving a review. The RPA Today Show, where you just might learn something you didn't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RPA Show. We are back again. I'm your host, Rob Howze, my co-host, Wilton Rogers, the automation guy. And this is an episode of RPA News. We got some big news, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, it's the biggest news in our company's existence. Wilton, man, how you feeling today?
Dude, I'm on the cloud nine, dude. It's been a good week. You know, we've weathered a couple of storms over the past few months, but dude, it's this week has been a good week, real good week.
Cloud 9, going to cloud 10, and
Right.
11, and higher and higher. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
So we're going to share some news with everybody. You know, some really cool news and some always insight. Got to give you insight nuggets that you can take away. So put it like this: if you have a business, then this conversation is going to be relevant to you. And if you have a business, you're going to be excited about what we share. You're going to be giving us virtual high fives, I'm sure.
We'll share that at the end. That way, you know, people will be a little bit more excited. But it's
good.
It's really good, man. It's a long time coming. We've worked hard for it as a team. This has been absolutely a team effort, man. And we're just blessed to have such an amazing team put together. And man, we're just growing, and to see these accomplishments and these things come up our way is truly a blessing.
You know, I think that the person who stays on the course the longest gets a chance to experience those things. Mm-hmm. There's going to be hardship, but I think it's the people who stay on course, just stay on the road, just keep chopping. You know, you take a couple chops at the tree and it doesn't fall. I mean, okay, what do? Stop chopping? Well, then it never falls, right? So we've learned chop, and chop away, but also sharpen that axe. It's a thing about getting better and understanding what you're doing and learning from your mistakes that helps you sharpen that axe, man.
Right, dude. I'm so glad you brought that up. You know, we've been at this game since 2017. We've had our own company since 2019, right? And through the whole journey, we've had so many people tell us, you know, not what we're doing is not the right way to do it. You know, when we run into we've had a lot of failures. You know, there's no mistake about it. But we've taken every one of those and to make sure that we don't make those mistakes again, or anybody that we work with make those mistakes. And through all that, we've been able to sharpen that axe, like you were saying, right? And now it's starting to come to fruition. People businesses, organizations, the industry is starting to recognize that, and we're getting a lot of hype because of it. And we stayed on course. When we had a lot of doubters. You know, even us, we doubted ourselves at the beginning for a while. I mean, we looked at other avenues that we needed to try to bring in so we can, you know, to diversify our income, because we were struggling, you know, but we stayed on course, man. And that axe got sharper and sharper. And now we just take a couple of chops, those trees are coming down.
You learn from your mistakes, learn from your wins and your losses. That's what wisdom is. And what, you know, we've been blessed to be able to see is people and companies that we've had the opportunity to work with. We've seen them learn from their mistakes and get better. It's one thing for you to grow from your mistakes, but it's even better when you can help other people do the same thing, and when you have good technology that enhances this. See, when you have the right technology, so you learn from your mistakes. Now, okay, great. Now with the right technology, now you can literally optimize and maximize your opportunities and possibilities, right? And so,
Absolutely.
What do you do? What do you do when you're walking around the world of business and life and you're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to really not just thrive in my business, survive in my business, but thrive? Like, how am I going to, all the operations that need to happen, how can I make all those operations happen at the highest, utmost efficiency and effectiveness? How? We got the
Yeah,
answer.
we got the
Oh, it's
answer.
all
Yeah,
around us. It's all around us.
it is. And and when they get bought into it, the the opportunities for scale and for
Mhm.
success is so much easier to get to, and it's so much clearer. And we've been seeing that with our clients. That's what I love about what we do, man. Is like, we know that once we start working with them, that it's going to make an immediate impact, right? It's not something that you have to, like a software you have to buy, you have to do it yourself, and then you have to learn it, and then you have to wait to see some results. It's immediate. It's
Mhm.
immediate. And being able to understand how to do that for any company of any size, it's taken us years to master, but in, thousands and thousands, they say you have to be 10,000 hours to be a professional or something like that. We're well over that. We're well over
Okay.
that, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
being able to do that, and when people get bought in, they're learning so fast on how to really streamline their business.
It's
And
incredible.
we see companies that start off knowing nothing about what we do and understanding in the conversation of what we do, the next conversation, understanding how it can impact their business. And then we go into development. And once it's deployed, they've already have 4 or 5 other processes ready to lined up because they see the impact immediately. And when they get bought in like that, it's a huge game changer right away.
Mhm.
And they get to focus on what they do best, and why they open up their company, why they're running their company is the creativity, the vision, the future of the company. And we've taken all those areas that you have to, we basically make the motor run, right? But they drive the car down the street, right, so to speak.
Right.
So for us, they get to drive the car a lot faster, a lot easier on a straight road because of what we built for them. So it's amazing, dude. It's just so much fun, man. And being able to accomplish this for, on any level is something that we've thought about, we dreamt about, we prayed about, and it's here.
It's here. The
It's here.
digital employees are here, ladies and gentlemen. A digital employee is robotic process automation. That's RPA. And that digital employee is that beautiful software that takes the repetitive work away from the human, right? And while doing this, it's also producing some tremendous outcomes. We're going to give you five. We're going to give you five outcomes these wonderful digital employees produce, starting with increased productivity, which it doesn't matter what industry you're in, that fits in every single team's mode. Okay. Increased productivity, right? Tell me how this
It's
is
the
happening.
Yeah, any process that they do, it takes human action to do it, right? During those processes, a couple things happen. You have to go by the speed of what that person can do, the ability of that person, right? And you have to worry about, from end to end, are there going to be any errors? Is this person going to be on? Is this going to be at? Are they going to be at work? Are they taking breaks? All these different things come into effect. When you implement RPA, you eliminate all of that, right? So the productivity in RPA is basically how fast does your software run? How fast do your applications run, right? Because that's how fast the bot, we call it a bot, digital employee, will run. And it doesn't make mistakes, right? And it's continuously learning, because if it doesn't understand a logic that you haven't built into it yet, it basically backs up. It's almost like an assistant. It'll come back and say, hey, I don't know what to do here, and it'll let you take care of that manually. But then after that point, the bot will know, okay, I know what to do for next time, so I'll never ask you this question again. So it's continuously improving. So your productivity will be a lot faster. And not only that, is that you can do much more of that process. So for example, if you're doing invoices, right, and you have two vendors that you're working with, right, and you've already built the logic and you've already automated that part. It doesn't matter if you have two vendors or 200 vendors, that bot will do it. That bot does it all. So
Incredible.
productivity, you can improve that process and you can build on that process a lot more. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of our companies.
Productivity moves into number 2, which is saving time. That's number 2. And obviously, the more productive you are, that inevitably creates more time. And so it doesn't matter what you have to get done, by automating and streamlining it, you're just going to get it done faster, better, which then ultimately saves you time. That's interesting.
It saves you time. And that's the most important thing. It does save you time. But what we're seeing is that, let's say, for example, we'll stay on the invoice processing. So we're talking about that process, right? If you're doing invoice processing all the time, and when you come to work, you have to do that, right? But then all of a sudden it's automated. You don't physically have to do it anymore, or you don't mentally have to think about it anymore. So not only are you saving time, but you're able to put that time somewhere completely different that will give you more value, that will allow you to be more visual in the company, give more of a visual outcome for the company. And it'll make you feel more beneficial to the company, more, that you have more value, give more value to that company. So it saves you time, but it allow you to be more creative and allow your skills to be more known, so to speak. So
Productivity, saving time. That's interesting. Those are two fantastic 1-2 punches. Then it leads into better accuracy. So if you're more productive, you're saving time. It looks like now your accuracy kind of falls right into place with that. It's like a domino effect of goodness. Really interesting.
Absolutely.
You're hitting your deadlines. You're meeting compliance, which is actually the other one that falls after that. They all kind of web together. And so you get this web of goodness once you streamline and automate these processes. I love the way this is looking.
Yeah. Better accuracy is definitely at the top of the charts as well. And the reason why is because it follows the rules that you built, right? It's not like a human. It doesn't say, okay, well, we're doing it this way, but let me try it this way. It doesn't do that, right? It follows those rules that you built in. And the more rules that you built and the more improvement that you make, it remembers that, and the accuracy will continue to grow and grow. It never, ever, it will never make a mistake, right? It'll report back to you that it can't do it before it makes a mistake. Or as a human, it may not report it back to you, right? They might just say, oh, well, you know what, I'm going to continue doing this. And then I'll have to deal with the consequences if there's an error. Bot doesn't do that. So accuracy is 100% at the top of that level as well.
Everybody needs accuracy. Everybody needs accuracy, compliance, saving time, more productivity. What would happen if we could have this consistently? Let's add that in there. What would happen if we could add these things and have this flowing in our businesses consistently? And so the thing that you get with automation is that you can set the rules, you can have the logic built into the rules that are working for you. And now all the things you need to get done, they're all happening without you having to think about it.
Yep.
It's an interesting web.
Absolutely. It is. It is. I think that the consistency when it's accurate and you're consistent with it, the bot will continue to improve like we talked about earlier. And as you understand how the process can be improved, all you got to do is say, hey, you know what? I need to add this logic into this process. And it's that simple. It's almost like telling somebody, instead of you do this, but I want you to do this and this as well, right? You only have to tell them once. The bot will do that. And again, the accuracy is 100%. The going into compliance is huge, right? Because when you do audits, we do a lot of financial, we do a lot of manufacturing that has, you have to meet some compliances. You have, like you were saying earlier, if you're doing a process where it may be, if you don't deliver a product on time, you may be fined for it, or you may be there may be a fee to it. It eliminates all that. It won't allow that to happen because it'll make sure that it gets there on time. There you
There are
go.
companies that are spending millions of dollars paying for compliance issues. I'm talking about
Mhm.
millions of dollars on compliance issues, tens of thousands of dollars. Any money is too much money to pay for. And why? Because there's so much stuff happening. Data is hard to be. It's hard. Accuracy is a difficult thing to reach, but it can be done.
Yeah.
That's the thing about
Okay.
it. It can be done.
Yeah.
If it's done right, it can be done.
Yeah. We have a manufacturing client right now that they deliver a lot of products, right? And they ship all over the world. And if it's not there on time, they get fined, or they get, because there's certain things that they have to meet, right? A lot of, it gets shipped to the wrong place. These are all human errors that happen. Um, the bot doesn't do that. We're able to save this company hundreds and thousands of dollars, every single year. I probably more than that every single month, because they have 5 locations nationwide, right? But we're saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the return on their
Incredible.
investments, 4 or 5 thousand ROI on that, right? But
Uh,
they are able to not have any more of those fines, because the bot knows exactly what to do, when to do it. If it's not going to be delivered, it lets them know that the delivery date has changed. Now it's this. So everybody is aware of the situation. And it's been a game changer for them. And they've been, our biggest advocate ever since.
that's incredible, man.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't? Who wouldn't be an advocate? That kind of greatness is happening, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of doing the things right, having the right technology implemented, understanding what you're doing. And that last one, it's more than five, but the last one, we'll talk about better customer service. And so we talked about these five benefits of RPA. When we said number one was increased productivity, then would save time, which we know we said increasing productivity helps you save time. So then you get better accuracy. With your better accuracy, then of course, there comes into the compliance, right? Oh, now you got compliance is good. And then if you got all those four working well, then you can really focus on your customer, right? And
Right.
the more energy that can be reallocated from other areas, or more energy that can be taken from the areas and reallocated to where you want them to go, the better off you'll be.
100%. And I think this is the biggest one of them all when it comes down to what the value the company gets, right? Because think of it this way. If you have a business and you have, let's say, 20 employees, right? And all 20 of those employees can work on the front end of your business, bringing clients, bringing customers to you, you know, that's the where you want your focus to be. You want to be able to have a team of people to help your company grow, to help your company succeed, right? A team of people that are doing these repetitive, mundane, database type processes, they help the company run, not grow, right? So if you can automate the things that can help your company run, and focus on the growth where people need to be. Bots can't do that. People need to do that, right? If you do that, your company will blow up, right? Your vision of what you want or why you open that company in the first place will tenfold, because now you can focus all your time and energy into your customers. So better customer service, number 5, is probably the biggest when it comes down to our clients.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, and I've never heard it actually said that way. You know, you got to focus on 2 elements of the organization. You want to automate the components that make your company run. The people help the company grow. It's very interesting.
Yep.
You got day-to-day things you got to do, tasks, got to chop the wood, got to do this, things got to get done. But it's the people that actually create the growth. Man, that is really interesting, because that kind of moves us kind of into, what we've been doing and how we've been able to grow and run at the same time. You got to grow and run, right?
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, being able to be in this position to where we understand the power of RPA allows the people that we work with to take advantage of all 4 of those benefits immediately, and understand the power of those 5 specific benefits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have, it's just like we're like a coach, and we have in our company is the team, are the ones that are the playmakers, right? You show them exactly what plays they need to do, how they need to run the company, how they need to implement RPA, and they play the game, And once they understand that we are the coaches of RPA, but they're the ones that are playing the game, and they call the shots, then things happen, and happen quick.
Yeah. So true, man. So true. So those are those top 5, right? Now let's move into, man. Let's move into this big news. That it's an exciting thing. It's such a new space, such a new idea, and to be at this place at this time so early, it really says a lot, man. Somebody's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I think I'm very humbled and very grateful that we've been recognized in this way. But to be honest with you, I'm not surprised, right? I'm surprised we recognize, because we're not as big as a lot of these players that we're going against that are playing in the large enterprise world. But being able to be a company of our size and to get recognition on the same level as other big players is humbling, man. It's just it's a blessing, and so we don't take that for granted. But I feel like we deserve it, because we know what we're doing, and we just feel like we've hit a market, and we've hit a niche that no one's really tapping into. And I think this is sort of, organizations and corporations are really starting to recognize that, hey, these guys know what the heck they're talking about. And so because of them speaking on our behalf, we've been given some honors. Yeah.
Give us some honors, man. So how do we roll this red carpet out? What is the drum roll effect we want to do here? We want to just plop it on them. How are you thinking about delivering this news?
We'll just plop it on them, man. There's nothing to hide around it. We can just, if you're on YouTube, we'll share it with you right now. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Simply Automate top 10 robotic process automation services companies in 2022. That's the year we're in right now. That's great. That is great. Awarded by CIO Applications. Go do your research, Google, and just see the other organizations and all the work that's being done, and to be recognized as those who are providing service to the things we are very so passionate about is humbling, man.
It's real humbling. And I think that, if they want to do research, we'll make sure to put all the links in the description, in the body of this podcast, so they can actually they can click on there and see what we're talking about. But I think being able to be recognized as a top RPA service company, especially in the consulting and service industry, is very rewarding, and I think it's because of what we've done and what we've proven we're capable of doing. And when they sit down and talk to me, we had to show them proof. They talk to people that we work with. They talk to not only our clients that we work with, but people that we partner up with, companies that we partner up with, and just the character and the growth of our company and what they've seen and what they see, where we're at and where we're going. And with that, we came back as one of the top RPA service companies in this year in the world. In the world, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. and just to narrow it down, the annual listing of 10 companies that are at the forefront of providing robotic process automation, consulting services, and transforming businesses. So these are 10. So we're going to call this top 10. That's a big deal, because what's important, when I was sharing this with Wilton earlier, before we got on here, I said, social proof is the best proof, because it's like, what have you done? And who have you hurt? Who have you helped? I hear what you're saying online, but what have you really done? Well, this is a really big deal, because this is not just about an individual that we've helped or one company. This is the work that's been done. And that's what's important. You want to work with organizations and companies that are good at getting the work done, and good and known for doing the work, okay, and recognized for doing the work. Yep. And so if you do the work and get educated before you get automated, of course, but do the work and start getting educated about this stuff. Like, start digging a little deeper about, okay, how can I automate, streamline some of the processes in my organization, in my own environment? Like, how? Well, first thing you do is click on one of these videos or these use cases and just read a little bit. Just take some information in. Guarantee you a light bulb's going to come on. The moment a light bulb comes on, others come on after it. Wilton, you know this. You walk into organizations all the time where they don't know anything about it. The light bulb comes on. Next, the light bulbs are all over the place. Thomas Edison is just happy, right?
Dude. Yeah, everywhere. We're working with a pretty good size accounting firm right now, right? And we talked about one process. After we talked about that one process, they had four others lined up right away, right? And they were just blown away by what it can do. They understood, they heard about RPA and they've seen use cases and they talked to people, but it wasn't until they actually see what it could do within their own environment that they realized, wow, that light bulb really kicked on. And now we already have 5 lined up, and they said this is just the beginning. Right. These are the ones that they know that they can see immediate impact, but they're still working on other ones. So, and that's the great thing about it is, like, our job as a consulting firm is to, like you said, educate before you automate. And that's so important, because that's why I build the playbook. We're going to go back here in a while, because people have to understand how to implement it from the beginning. And if they already started, to slow down and make sure you have the right software, make sure you have the right approach, make sure you have, everything is put together the right way. Because if you go down the wrong path, it could take you down a long, expensive, path that might take you off course and will frustrate the heck out of you. We've seen it. We've saved a couple of deals. We've saved a couple of companies from giving up on it because we stepped in and helped them, right? So we understand that. And the great thing about it is that, we're not limited to North America. We have a lot of business. We have business here in the US and in Canada, of course, but now we're in Latin America. We were in Chile, we're in Mexico, we're in Peru, we're in the UK, so we're global now. And I think that's the reason why we got this award, because now we're being recognized all over the world, not just here in the US. But, I think it's so important for people to really understand, get with somebody as a consultant and understand how to implement it. And then once you understand it, start somewhere where you can just implement it for your own company, not just seeing use cases or anything like, or hearing it from other people. Feel it for yourself. Actually be able to feel that value that you get, the benefits that you get by doing something within your own organization. It's something very simple. That way you can at least see it. And once that happens, I guarantee you, if it's a priority number 10, this will move up to number 1 or number 2.
Well said, man. Well said.
Yeah.
And so here's a quick route to getting educated before you get automated. Here's a quick route to get some insight into your body, into your mind. The RPA Playbook, which will be also, the links will be somewhere, description, in the post, in the body, somewhere. Download this playbook. This is the RPA Playbook. This is the X's and O's to really help you play the game of automation. Yeah, we got to use that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think it's important for them to grab a download. It's a downloadable. It's free, right? It's rpaplaybook.com. It's free download. I think it's important for people to. It doesn't matter where you're at in the RPA journey. If you've already done some, if you already have some implementation, if you already are you thinking about it, or you don't even know what the heck it is. You can figure out within this playbook where you're at and where you can go from there, right? And I wrote this, I think it was about 3 or 4 months ago, and it started off like, I'm going to write something very simple, 1 or 2 pages, and it just ended up being, I don't know how many pages, like, I don't know, I don't know how many pages is it. I have it right here. I think it's like 16, 17 pages. No, it's more, 28 pages. Oh, so but I just kept writing because I knew that there was different levels of understanding, of needing of people to understand what it is. And from our experience over the last 5-6 years, it's like, I got to share this. What's crazy though, Rob, is that I'm already taking notes for RPA Playbook Part 2, 2.0, right? Because there's so many other things that we're already doing that I know that I didn't put in there that I need to add in there. So it's just like, man, it's just, we continue to grow and understand.
Yep.
And but yeah, man, it's definitely a playbook I think that people need to grab just so they can get a better understanding. And they're doing it. They're doing it. So, you guys need to grab a copy and see what it's all about.
Grab a copy. And technology and evolutions are moving quickly, right? Things are advancing. This playbook, it really is the X's and O's of automation. So you get your playbook. So get your playbook so you can call the right place. All right. Good. And listen, if you're thinking about doing business, if you're thinking about optimizing your business, doing better business, being more compliant, having a better customer experience, better employee experience, saving some time, being more productive, if any of those things interest you, then this is interesting, okay? If any of those things interest you, then this technology is very interesting and it can help you accomplish that. RPA, man, robotic process automations, it's coming.
That's it. It's here. And in that playbook it shares this, but the growth of RPA is out the roof, and it's more on the service end, right? There's a lot of there's software out there that you can use. But it limits you to the growth because of the capabilities, but also because of price, right? Mm-hmm. But we understand all these different, what's a good fit for any company.
Yeah.
What we found out is service, it was, first of all, when it first started, RPA got a lot of attention. It was more about the software. There wasn't very many players. It's about getting the software and seeing where you can automate. Software there's still more vendors coming out, but it's a small growth. The service has tripled in the last year, right? Whoa. And it's expected to blow out the charts this next coming year. In fact, we know that for a fact because, when we do a process for one client, they do multiple processes. I don't think we have one client right now that has been with us more than 60 days or let's say 90 days. That has just one process. They've already moved on to another process, right? Because the service, they know they need to implement it more and more and more. They don't have to change the software. The software is the same, right? It's more about implementing a different process. Mm-hmm. So the service part of it is already past the revenue of the software part of it, right? And that's already going to be triple this year. And not only that, next year, who knows? I mean, we already have the charts. I mean, if you want to look at the playbook, it has the actual the data to back it up. It's on there, but the service part is blowing up. What that means is that people are starting to understand it and implement it.
Yep. We're at the beginning. We're climbing fast. Any final words, man?
You know, just very humbled and very grateful for the business that we do have, but very blessed to have just an amazing team. You know, people don't know the struggles that we've been through to get to where we're at. You know, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of lights turned off and cars repoed to get to this point. But you know, we weather the storm, and being able to have the people that we have on our team to be part of this journey. It's just a blessing, man. You really don't find a team like this, and to grow off what we're building, and to bring on other players that believe in our vision and have the same character and enthusiasm and work ethic that we do. Man, it's been a blessing. So yeah, man, it's just very blessed to be what we're doing today.
There you have it. Blessed by the best. Gratitude in our attitude. And if you didn't know, gratitude does determine your attitude, which ultimately will determine your altitude. So how high do you want to go, right? We want to go as high as possible. So be grateful, be thankful, and educate before you automate. You're listening to and watching the RPA Show. You just might learn something you didn't know.